federal election is coming up within the next few weeks, and as candidates from all of the political parties vie for votes across the country, election signs are visible everywhere. The South Shore of Montreal is no different. But if you take a look around the town of Kahnawake, any signs of an upcoming election are absent. And Grand Chief Joe Norton says that's for a reason.
There is definitely a policy that states very clearly that we do not participate. We don't allow polling stations here, and there's nobody going to come in and post all kinds of election promotional signs about who they are, what party they belong to. We don't allow that, and that's been a long-standing situation.
Historically, the number of Aboriginals going to the polls in Canada has been lower than non-Aboriginals. The reasons for that have varied from voting rules such as valid ID and remote locations to a federal government that many Aboriginal people across the country don't consider their own, such as in Kahnawake. For many people here, the idea of participating in the federal election isn't something they believe in.
It's just not our right. I mean, it's not an inherent right. We vote for our chiefs to take care of the business of the community, to deal with the federal and provincial governments. That's their responsibility.
We focus here on our own democracy, and it's hard enough we have to struggle with two types of governments within our own. We have our traditional system and we have the band council system here, so I tend to focus more on learning more about our own processes and how to change our own things within our own communities, because whatever you vote for outside stays status quo anyways. That's my feeling.
Grand Chief Norton says while it's official policy of the council not to vote, individuals ultimately make that choice. The Longhouse keeps the traditional way of leadership in Kahnawake. Joe Diome is with the Longhouse, and he says that voting in Canadian elections is not a part of tradition. He adds that includes band council elections, which he says are part of a system imposed by the federal government.
Even when I was a child, my mother told me what nation I belonged to, and we're not Americans or we're not Canadians. So when I came back here, it was always, everyone had the same sentiment. And politically, we don't vote because it's not our government. So we shouldn't vote. For one reason, is because if you do vote, you're participating in their government, and you got to live with whatever they decide.
Since the election was called in August, the Aboriginal vote has been a topic of discussion. Looking on the internet, it's not hard to find arguments for and against voting, or whether or not voting is even an effective form of protest. There are 51 ridings of the 338 across the country up for grabs, which could be affected by Aboriginal voter turnouts. On social media, different groups, celebrities, and leaders across the country have been trying to raise awareness to get that vote. Assembly of First Nations National Chief Perry Bellegarde recently tweeted that his position has changed from not voting to voting. The AFN itself has been advocating for First Nations people to vote. People who are vocal about their choice to vote say it's about change. Kahnawake resident Timmy Montour says that he's planning on voting even if it means going against tradition.
You could say it's a personal choice. Like I said before, though, as a Mohawk man of the First Nations, well, that's what everybody else calls themselves, we have a duty to protect this land. So that's why I think we should all come out and vote. I mean, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm saying, but if you really care, complaining doesn't do anything. They're giving you a voice, so use that.
Kahnawake is in the new riding of La Prairie, which was created 2 years ago when the electoral boundaries were redistributed. At the Elections Canada office just down the road in nearby St. Catherine, the returning officer for the district, Claude Jolin, has been busy getting out information to voters, and many of them are from Kahnawake.
There are around 2,000 people that are actually on the national electoral list, on the district electoral list, and it's moving every day because some people are coming to register. We had people yesterday again, okay, and some and they can register by Election Canada. Those are surprise things that arrive, and we just see them appearing on the list. And so we expect it will be around 2,000 for this election. How many of them will vote? We hope it will be all of them, but it's a personal choice.
It won't be known if the number of Aboriginal people who choose to vote will be higher in this election until after the polls are closed. A nationwide demonstration is also said to be in the works over the next few weeks just before the October 19th election. The purpose of that is to let whoever wins the election know that Aboriginal people across the country want to have their voices heard. Whether it's through the ballot box, demonstrations, or any other means, many are saying what they'd like to see most is change. Lachlan Medill, First Nations Television.